Let's be real for a second. Are you supposed to be doing something else right now? Yeah, me too. So let's just dive right into this explainer and uncover the actual science behind why we put things off, even when we know we absolutely shouldn't. Seriously though, why are you watching this? Are you currently avoiding some massive, looming deadline that's staring you right in the face? Well, don't worry, because you are definitely not alone here. Look, we have all been in this exact scenario. You sit down at your desk, you're totally ready to conquer the world, right? But then you think, I'll just check my email for a split second. And then, you jump on TikTok or suddenly decide that messy junk drawer absolutely needs to be organized right this second. And boom, it's midnight.
Section 1. Blame your brain.
So, neuroscience actually reveals that our internal reward stopwatch is fundamentally flawed. We suffer from something called delayed discounting. And basically, this just means long-term tasks feel disproportionately effortful compared to immediate rewards. Your brain's dopamine system simply doesn't value a payoff that's weeks away nearly as much as a quick hit of entertainment right now. The honest truth is, procrastination, it isn't laziness. It's actually an emotion-focused coping strategy. When a task makes you feel stressed or maybe a bit inadequate, your brain just wants an immediate escape hatch. You're literally just giving in to feel good and avoid anxiety in the short term. Enter the instant gratification monkey. This is that delightfully terrible part of your brain that demands childish play instead of focused work, and it completely hijacks your motivation circuits. And surprisingly, things that crank up your anxiety, like pounding coffee or chugging energy drinks, they're actually huge culprits in feeding this monkey, pushing you even further away from focus. Section 2. Meeting your future self. Okay, so present you is stressed out, chewing on a pencil, just completely desperate for a distraction. So what do? You confidently pass the buck to future you. You just leave the hard stuff to tomorrow's version of yourself because, quite frankly, you do not envy that guy's workload. Now, this isn't just some funny joke. It is neurologically hardwired into us. Brain scans from Hal Hirschfield's research over at UCLA reveal something totally mind-blowing. When you think about your future self, your neural activity looks exactly like it does when you're thinking about a complete stranger. Like your brain literally views tomorrow's you as someone else entirely. So yeah, no wonder you don't mind dumping all your unfinished work on them. So how do we actually fix this? Well, Dr. Eve-Marie Balloon-Houdon's research proves that practicing a little mental time travel works absolutely wonders. By actively visualizing and actually building empathy for your future self, like really imagining how stressed they're going to be if you don't do this work right now, you increase what's called future self-continuity, and that actually measurably reduces procrastination. Section 3. Structured procrastination. Let's look at the concept of structured procrastination. According to the philosopher John Perry, you can actually become incredibly productive by tackling lower priority items. Things like organizing your computer files, returning those minor emails, maybe even sharpening pencils. And you do all of this just to avoid your top priority, big, scary deadline. So you're still procrastinating, sure, but you're getting a ton of useful little things done in the process. Section 4. The Zeigarnik effect. Okay, here's how this one works. Taking the very first step on a project, no matter how tiny, literally even just typing the title on a blank document, creates a mental itch. It generates this psychological tension that compels your brain to finish the task. See, your brain absolutely hates open loops, so just starting forces it to want to close that loop. Section 5. Your action plan. First step is the 5-minute rule. This is a super powerful cognitive behavioral therapy technique. Step 1, commit to the task for just 5 minutes. Step 2, and this is crucial, give yourself total, honest permission to quit guilt-free when that time is up. This works so beautifully because 5 minutes, well, it's just too small of a window for your dread to really push against. And because that permission to quit is genuine, your avoiding brain totally lets its guard down. Usually that Zeigarnik effect kicks in, and you just keep going. All right, let's stack some behavioral anchors here to shift that dopamine and outsmart the monkey. First, chunk your tasks. Break those big, intimidating projects down into tiny, non-threatening steps. Then use the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, just do it immediately. Next, preempt what tempts you by making your favorite distractions much harder to reach. Also use time boxing. This beats perfectionism by forcing you to settle for good enough within a really strict time frame. And finally, calculate the true costs. Seriously, sit down and identify the actual pain your needless delay is causing you. Which brings us to the ultimate question. I challenge you to close this explainer right now and to find your single, tiny next step based on your current time and energy. Don't look at the whole mountain, all right? Just look at the very next pebble. Because if you finally stop standing in your own way and get that instant gratification monkey off your back, what could future you actually achieve? Well, the clock is ticking.